Hello everyone. Today our topic is input splitting and specifying input and output parameters in MapReduce. Now welcome the topic that is nothing but the input splitting. What is the meaning of input splitting? We have taken some input data. That data we have to do. We have to split it. The data, whatever you have to give that input data. First of all, if you have to split the task, in the sense, what I meant to say in the sense, for the framework, it should be able to distribute pieces of the job to multiple missions, and it needs to fragment the input into individual pieces, which can in turn to be provided as input to the individual distributed task. In the sense, what I meant to say, in the sense, if you have take some template, it should be able to distribute some small pieces of the job to multiple missions, and it needs to fragment the input data into individual pieces, and which can be provided as input to the individual distributed task. Now we have to look at this. Each fragment of input is called as input splitting. What I meant to say, in the sense, each fragment of input is called an input split. Okay, this is the concept of input splitting. Now we can say, what I meant to say, in the sense, the default rules for how the input splits are constructed from the actual input files or a combination of configuration parameters, and one more, we can say, the capabilities of the class that are actually reads the input records. Okay, so an input split will normally be form a contiguous group of records, okay, to from a single input file. And in this case, we can see there will be at least n input splits, where n, in the sense, number of input files. If the number of requested map tasks is larger than this number, so the individual files are larger than the suggested fragment size, and there may be multiple input splits constructed of each input file. Okay, so now we can take, the user has considerable control over the number of input splits. We can see the number and size of the input splits. Strongly we can influence that. Okay, strongly influence overall the job performance is nothing but the concept of input splitting. We want to split the each fragment of input is called an input split. For example, if you have taken input split, will normally be a contiguous group of records from a single input file, and in this case there will be at least some number of input files. If the number of requested map tasks it is larger than this number, so the individual files are larger than the suggested fragment size. We can see there may be a chance of multiple input splits constructed of each input file, so that the user has control over the number of input splits. That is the concept. We can learn here the number and size of input splits. Strongly remember that we have to influence the overall job performance. Okay, now we can see what are the steps. First of all, if we have to take in MapReduce, what is a MapReduce? It is a software framework which supports parallel and distributed computing on a very large amounts of data sets. Okay, it runs on a cluster with some commodity hardware. And coming to the whatever you gave the input data to both the map and the reduce functions, it has some particular structure. We want to follow some particular structure regarding this. The input data to the map function is in the form of a, what is in the form of the map function is in the form of key comma value pair. Now we can learn about what are the steps we have to learn in input splitting. First of all, we have to read first step, that should be if you have to take map reduce job, it is a unit of work that the client wants to be performed. Okay, it consists of input data and the map reduce program and configuration information. What I meant to say in the sense, map reduce job, it is a unit of work that the client wants to be performed. It consists of the input data and the map reduce program and the configuration information. Now we have to move to the step 2. Coming to the Hadoop. Hadoop runs a job it by dividing into tasks, of which there are two types of tasks. First one is map task and the second one is reduce task. Now we can see here in step 3 there are two types of nodes. How many types of nodes we can see now? Two types of nodes that control the job execution process. What it controls, the nodes will control the job execution process. First of all, if you have to take a job tracker and a number of task trackers. What the first one is a job tracker and a number of task trackers. Now coming to the step 4, what does the job tracker does? In the sense, the job tracker coordinates all the jobs. Okay, it coordinates all the jobs. It run on the system by scheduling the task to run on task trackers. What I meant to say in the sense, we want to coordinate the job tracker including all the jobs. It run on the same system by scheduling the tasks to run on task trackers. Coming to the step 5, we can see, coming to the step 5, task tracker run tasks, okay, and send progress reports to the job tracker. What the operation here? Task tracker run tasks and send progress reports to the job tracker, and which keeps a record of the overall progress of each job. What it will keep, a job keeper will keep a record of the overall progress of each job. And coming to the step 6, we have to learn about the Hadoop. What the Hadoop program, it divides the input to a map reduce job into fixed size pieces called input split. What they meant to say, Hadoop divides the input to a map reduce job into fixed size pieces called input splits, or one more name if you have just splits. Okay, Hadoop, the Hadoop creates one map task for each split, one map task for each split, and which runs the user defined map function. What it runs, which runs the user defined map functions for each record in the split. Once again, I have to repeat this. Hadoop creates one map task for each split and which runs the user defined map functions for each and every record in the split. These are the steps coming for input splitting. And coming to the, we can learn about the further topic that is nothing but specifying input and output parameters. What we want to specifying the input parameter, and one more we have to learn about specifying output parameter. What does the specifying input parameter in the sense, the input to the map method of a map reduce task is a series of key or value pairs. In the sense input splits, that we call it as key 1 and value 1. What I meant to say in the sense specifying input format in the sense first of all we have to learn about the Hadoop framework, ma'am. Hadoop framework, it provides a large variety of input formats. Okay, Hadoop provides a very huge variety of input formats. So the major distinctions or between textual input formats and binary input formats. We can learn about the textual input format and as well as the binary input format. Now we can see the following or some available formats will be there. How we can provide a large variety of input formats. What are the major differences or between textual input formats and as well as binary input formats. Now we can look at this diagram. We can understand it in a clear way. Okay, first of all what I meant to say in the sense, if you have to give the input to the map method of a map reduce task, it is a series of key or value pairs like nothing but input splits, that we call it as key 1 and value 1. And coming to the output of this map method, I want to say the output of this map method, and which in turn is an input to the reduce method, is a series of keys and an associated list of values that we are going to call key 2 and value 2. What I meant to say in the sense, all of you look at this diagram in a clear cut way, otherwise you can't able to understand. Okay, first of all, if you have to look at this diagram, this figure illustrates you how each mapper simply outputs a series of individual key or value results. Finally, it generates. These are combined together into a key and a list of values in the shuffle method. And finally, we can get the result of the map reduce job. It is another series of a key or value pairs, which we call it as key 3 and value 3. First of all, if you have to look at this diagram concentrately, otherwise we don't want to understand. First of all, our main motive in the sense input splitting. Okay, first of all, I gave some input data, whatever it may be, and then I have to split it the data. Okay, split. It's nothing but a distributed file system, and then we have to map function will be run there. Okay, map, and then you have to split the data, and then it should be mapped, and then we can give some shuffling. What the shuffle method will do, each mapper simply outputs a series of individual key or value results. These are combined together into a key and a list of values in the shuffle method. In the shuffle method, you can see first of all the map node. In that map node, we have a sort plus send, in the sense sorting, and we want to sending. What we want to sort and what we want to send, like a key or value. Okay, in that shuffle we can take another merge in the something but club కలపడం. ఓకే, మెర్జ్ చేయడం, లింక్ చేయడం. ఓకే, లైక్ కమింగ్ టు ద రెడ్, this is the map node. In map node we can do sort and sort plus send, and coming to the reduce node we have to do the merge operation. Key or value, we can merge that it in map node we have to take that key or value, and then in coming to the reduce node we have to merge it, and then finally you have to do that reduce function. What that reduce function, finally the final result of a map reduce job is another series of key or value pairs, which we call it as key 3 and value 3. Okay, this is nothing but the distributed file system. This is the figure illustrates you what that input splitting the data in a step by step manner. Now we have to learn about architecture of map reduce in Hadoop. In Hadoop we can learn about the architecture. What architecture? Architecture of MapReduce architecture in Hadoop, how it will support, how it will provided you, what that process will be run there. Now we can see learn about this. First of all, MapReduce supports for processing of huge data sets. It is stored in Hadoop file systems. What I meant to say in the sense, MapReduce it's provided for processing a large amounts of data sets, and it is finally stored in Hadoop file system. Okay, now we can see the topmost layer of Hadoop. The topmost layer of Hadoop is the MapReduce engine. Here we want to look at this diagram. Later I will zoom it. First of all, if you have to listen this first point, what I mean to say in the sense, the topmost layer of Hadoop is the MapReduce engine. What it manages? That manages the data flow and control flow. What it manages? The data flow and control flow of MapReduce jobs. Okay, that manages the data flow and control flow of MapReduce jobs over a distributed computing system. Over a distributed computing system. Now we can learn about the topmost layer of Hadoop. It is the MapReduce engine that manages the data flow as well as control flow of MapReduce jobs. That is overly distributed the computing system. So whatever we have to compute and manage the processing, the hardware and software requirements. First of all, if you have to learn the Hadoop file system architecture, what it does do. Now we can see. Okay, now I can zoom this architecture. Okay, all of you look at this architecture, otherwise we can't able to understand the concept what I meant to say in the sense. Here the figure illustrates you Hadoop file system and MapReduce architecture in Hadoop, where boxes with different shadings. What ma? Here some boxes is there where boxes with different shadings refer to different functional nodes. Different shadings refer to different functional nodes applied to different blocks of data. What does the figure illustrate you in the sense? Coming to this concept of Hadoop file system architecture, and we can see the MapReduce architecture in Hadoop, where the boxes with different shadings refer to the different functional nodes. It is applied to different blocks of data. Okay, now we have seen at the topmost layer, we can see already that is nothing but MapReduce engine. In that one we have learned about job tracker, task tracker. In first of all, if you have to take that is nothing but some cluster is nothing but some group of something. Okay, that is nothing but cluster to form a group. Okay, here we have to take at cloud some rack 1, we have to take some rack 1 and rack 2. First of all, if we have to take some rack 1, for the topmost layer it represents MapReduce engine. The bottom up layer it indicates Hadoop file system. Okay, first of all we have to learn about MapReduce engine. If you have to choose job tracker, task tracker. What is meant by job tracker? If you have to learn about what is meant by job tracker. Job tracker means the framework provides two processes that handle the management of MapReduce jobs. What I meant to say in the sense, the framework provides two processes that handle the management of MapReduce jobs. Okay, the first one is job tracker. Job tracker accepts job submissions and provides job monitoring and control and manages the distribution of tasks, whatever they gave, the distribution of task to do the job monitoring and control and manages the distribution of task to the task tracker nodes. Okay, if you have to look at this task tracker, if you have to map function will be used there in rack 1 and rack 2. Okay, and coming to this task tracker, what is the task tracker, what it will be managed? The task tracker manages the execution of individual map. What they said, the execution of individual map and reduce tasks. What they reduce? Tasks on a compute node in the cluster, on a compute node in the cluster. What does the job tracker purpose? It accepts job permissions and provides a job monitoring and control and manages the distribution of tasks to the task tracker nodes. And then we have to what the purpose of task tracker? It manages the execution of individual map and reduce tasks on a compute node in the cluster. That is nothing but task tracker. And coming to the bottom up layer, it indicates some name node. You already previous classes we have listened name, what is a name node, what is a data node. Okay, name, in that name node we have to take some individual metadata, the data about data we have to extract it. And coming to the data node, the node it have some data, in the sense some information it will get, it will extract. Okay, here something different shadings, it refers to that different functional nodes, what it applied to different blocks of data. Okay, if you have to look at this rack 1 and rack 2. And coming to the finally this job tracker and name node, in that name node we have to learn about metadata. This is nothing but node 1. And coming to the next, in rack 1 itself, task tracker and the individual map, the execution of individual map. And coming to the data node, it should be empty boxes will be there. Okay, where boxes with different shadings, it refers to different functional nodes, it applied to different blocks of data. It's coming to the node 2. And coming to the node 3, task tracker, individual, the execution of maps will be there, and data node. Here the empty boxes, it nothing but this is the block, is the node 3. And coming to the finally, it's node 4. This is the Hadoop file system architecture. Okay, in map, what I meant to say, architecture of MapReduce in Hadoop. Now we have to learn about the key points. What I meant to say, in the sense the key points, it is similar to Hadoop file systems and the MapReduce engine. It also has a master or slave architecture. It consisting of a single job tracker. It consisting of a single job tracker as the master and the number of task trackers as the slaves. It's nothing but workers. What I mean to say, in the sense, it is the same as Hadoop file systems. The MapReduce engine, it also performances, it has a master or slave architecture. First of all, it consisting of a single job tracker. It should be as a master, and a number of task trackers, it should be as the slaves. It's nothing but workers. What does the job tracker manages? The MapReduce job over a cluster, and it is responsible for monitoring jobs and assigning tasks to task trackers. And coming to the task tracker purpose, it manages the execution of the individual map and or reduce tasks on a single computation node in the cluster. And coming to the what does the task tracker do? Each task tracker node, it has a number of simultaneous execution slots. What I mean to say, each task tracker node, it has a number of simultaneous execution slots, and each executing either a map or a reduce a task. Okay, and coming to the slots, what does the slot define? In the sense, slots are defined as the number of simultaneous threads. It's supported by CPUs of the task tracker node. What I meant to say in the sense, the slots are defined as the number of simultaneous threads. It is supported by CPUs of the task tracker node. For example, if you have to take a task tracker node with n CPUs and each supporting m threads and has m into n simultaneous execution slots, it is worth nothing. It is worth nothing that you can see each data block is processed by one map task running on a single slot. What I meant to take a single example in the sense, a task tracker with n CPU, a task tracker node, it is a node with n CPUs and each supporting m threads. Okay, it has m into n simultaneous execution slots. It is worth nothing that now we can learn about the each data block. It is processed by one map task running on a single slot. It should be one map task running. Therefore there is a one-to-one correspondence. What I meant to say in the sense, therefore we can say there is a one-to-one correspondence between the map tasks in a task tracker and data blocks in the respective data node. What I meant to say in the sense, here each data block is processed by one map task running on a single slot. Okay, and then we can do, finally there is a one-to-one correspondence between map tasks in a task tracker and data blocks in the respective data nodes. Okay, now we have to learn about in later video, that is nothing but configuring and running a job in Hadoop. Okay ma, thank you.